What's up, everyone? It's Tom from YouKnowIGotSoul.com here, getting ready to do this interview with the R&B group Allure, someone we've been trying to get in for an interview for a while now, so we're definitely looking forward to it. They'll be here in just a few minutes. We're looking forward to speaking with them about their history, about some new music they've got on the way. I believe they got a new podcast on the way as well. So definitely have a lot to discuss. They've got a lot of history, have given us a lot of great music. So looking forward to speaking to all three members tonight. Should be fun. They'll be here any minute now. What's up, Montrez Jones? What's up, everyone who's tuning in? We'll give it a few more minutes, let more people show up. This interview will also be on our website where all of our interviews end up, on our YouTube channel as well. So you could check it out there as well if you can't stay for the whole thing. And, just give it a few more minutes. Everyone in here, make sure you go vote tomorrow if you haven't already. It's a big day in the United States. Very important you do that. But tonight it's all about R&B music and celebrating Allure. So give them a few minutes and they'll be here. If anyone has any questions that's in here you want us to ask while we're going through the show, we always read the comments. And, we always try to work in whatever questions we get, and see if we can fit them in if we have time. So we appreciate everyone tuning in. What's up, Watch These? Another late night for you? What's up, Buddha? And definitely Allure is here now, so we're going to get this thing started. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Sideways.
Oh, we gotta figure this
Yeah.
out. We gotta figure
Hello? Oh, yeah. Is there any way we'll fit if you turn it?
Wait,
Yeah, we're
but
trying.
sorry, I'm mad close. I'm gonna have a booger.
Girl. We're gonna figure it out. Yeah, can you push your back? No, but look, you can't see. Just go far back as you can so you see it. We'll turn that way. Okay. Yeah. I'll just be like,
Right,
yeah.
right there. I see you guys now. How's it going? Thank you guys for making some time for this interview. We've been trying to get it done for a while and happy to talk to you guys.
Thank
We
you
appreciate
for having us.
Absolutely. And excited to share your guys' history, celebrate your legacy, talk about everything you guys have been through in the industry. So it's going to be a fun interview.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
When we do these interviews, we always like to kind of start at the beginning and then take it back up to date. I know you guys are working on some new music, and we'll get into that. But first, take us back to the beginning. We love to hear the history and the stories of how you guys first got discovered. I know Pope from the Trackmasters eventually, got a hold of you guys. But how did you even, meet him? Because there were so many artists trying to get discovered at that time, and you guys were able to make it happen.
Well, we were like practicing at a community center in the Bronx. We always were there. Like every week we would come and start singing. And we had a mutual friend, and he knew Hope from the Trackmaster, and he brought him down to hear us sing at one of our rehearsals. And that's how it all began with that whole venture with Track.
Yeah. And then obviously became assigned to Mariah Carey's label. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But, for many of us, it's hard to even envision working with Mariah Carey. She's just someone larger than life and, a global superstar phenomenon. But what was it like when you got the chance to sign with her and be a part of her label?
For us, we were in awe because she was somebody who we looked up to us, musically.
Right.
We loved her voice, we loved her music, and we were literally in the studio just like finishing up mixing and recording some new, like one of the latest songs from our album, our self-titled album. And somebody came in and was like, somebody wants to meet you guys. And we're like, who? And we turn and she just walks in and we're like, we're getting pranked, right? This is for real. All our doors just dropped. We were like, again, in awe, And she was so super sweet. She walked in, she's like, you guys sound amazing. And that's pretty much how the venture came about between Crave and Trackmaster.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. We absolutely love 90s R&B, the era of music. And you guys are right in the middle of that. And, we're a part of when so many great groups were coming out. I mean, what do you guys remember about being in that moment and being superstars in that moment?
Oh my gosh, for us it was amazing because like you said, there were so many female groups, so it was that woman unity and that power, girl power going on. We had 702, it was us, Escape,
right?
Black,
SWV,
SWV, all of those people, and then Vogue and SWV were people we looked up to, so we were so happy to be a part of that. Even though we came in at the end of the 90s, we were still happy to be able to say, we were a part of that.
Right.
Dope. Let's touch on the debut album, self-titled album, one we still have in rotation ourselves. What do you guys remember about creating that body of work?
Wow. I think one of the memories, or one of the fondest memories, it's going to sound so whack, was eating. We would order food to eliminate, but as far as like the vibe, we were just happy and ecstatic to be living out our dreams. Like, we were teenagers, so to be in the studio with like chunking, Sony, oh my God, we're looking at plaques. It was just, it was a dream come true. So, I mean, those moments, those days, we'll never forget, and always embedded.
I mean, obviously you guys have some huge singles on there, but I'm curious, from each of you guys, I would like to hear what your favorite song is, or which one is most special to you.
Wow.
For me, from the debut album, I would have to say The Story is one of my favorites. It wasn't a single.
But she killed that. I'm sorry.
But it pushed me vocally in a place where I didn't know I could go. So I'm just, for me, I was always like, they used to make fun of me a lot. Yeah. They would say I sound old, and you sound like you're from 1940. So for me to have, shout outs to Gordon Chambers, he pushed me in a way that I didn't even think I could do that. Like, I didn't know my vocal would be that way.
She did it.
That for me is like
that gave us goosebumps. We were sitting there like, I think for me, I guess because people know our history, people expect me to say Mama Said because it's about my mother who passed away. But honestly, You're Gonna Love Me was a song that stuck out to me the most, I think, because we've all been through a lot in love and relationships or whatever case is. And one thing is for sure, if you get any of us and you mess up, trust and believe you're gonna come back and you're gonna love. No, seriously speaking, like it was one of those songs that kind of resonated like really, really loud for me because, again, we've been through a lot, and I think for myself and especially for my sisters, I just always want to see us just being genuinely happy with somebody. And even if it takes for it to be that thing, like, okay, yeah, you messed up, but I'll check you later because you're going to be in my messages later. It was just something that kind of stuck with me. That was always one of my favorite songs.
Dope.
For me, I would have to say it was No Question. The reason why, the reason why is because the feature was LL Cool J. Yeah. So we're from New York, and out just the history, he would lick his lips, and we're like, wait a minute, y'all got LL? So because of the feature, people love the song more than we do, but because of the feature, I'm going with No Question.
Yeah, we definitely love LL's part more than anything in that song.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right. That's dope. Love to hear that. We got to talk about All Cried Out with 112, the cover song, because that's a timeless one right there. What do you guys remember most about that one?
Well, that was all Mariah, because I remember we were almost done, and she was like, guys, we gotta need to do a cover. And we were like, yeah, sure, it's fine. And she was like, yeah, exactly. And then she said, how about All Cried Out? And we was like, that's dope. And she was like, she started singing the male part, the full force part. Right. It was hilarious. Right. She was singing the full force part. And we were like, yeah, that's good. And then we were trying to figure out who the males would be. And at first we were like, Boyz II Men. And she was like, well, no, because I did One Sweet Day. Right. So we was like, okay. So she was like, how about 112 from Bad Boy? And we were like, that might work. That'll work.
We've been through our Drew Hill and Jodeci.
But the crazy part was that we had already recorded the song, and then when we finally heard their parts coming back,
it was mad.
We were like, this is amazingly insane. Like they were like literally the equivalent of us harmony wise. Right. The fact that it was 4 of them and 4 of us, like the typical cliche stuff. Yeah. But vocally, they murdered their part on that song. If you hear the acapella version of All Cried Out with just the harmonies itself, it's sickening. Yeah. It's sickening. So we knew from that moment on it's gonna be perfect.
Oh, and just so you know, we already know, because a lot of people always say, like Slim likes to say, shout out to Mariah on the background. We know she did put her part because she loved harmonies and she loved how we harmonized. So she did put a note in there, but it's with us as well.
But also know that when she hear the song that was being played, it was just us.
I'm gonna just take a sip of my little
Wow. Let's touch on another song. I got to touch on Head Over Heels because that's got to be a special collaboration too. You guys being New Yorkers, Nas was on that one. What was that one like?
Well, really quick before we get into that, shout out to Full Force also for Walk Right Out.
And Lisa.
Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much. But Head Over Heels was another one. Like La said, like we always said that we were like seriously blessed to have so many features on our first album, and I think people took that and perceived that as, oh, they had it so easy. They didn't work hard and they didn't do shit. But no, we did work hard for that, and the fact that we had like Lottie said, LL, Nas, Raekwon, Mary J. Mary J. Blige. I'm gonna keep it more. Mary J. wrote for us, Mariah wrote for us. We all know that. But to have Nas was like Queens.
Yes.
The same way. And his voice at that time was something that was so distinct, and so even now, like the dude still looks like he's 17. To have him on that record and for it to be the first single coming out, it was not only exciting, but it was also, I think it was nerve-wracking for us. It was like no pressure, Nas, okay, but for everybody, like for real. Like we love everybody that ever got involved and featured, even though we don't, haven't had a chance to like speak to everybody, but just say it now. If you hear it, we love you guys for real. Yeah, that was dope.
So, I think it's so cool. We're talking about an album from the late '90s. We are in 2020, and we're talking about R&B groups. Many have disbanded. Many are gone. We've never heard from in decades. You guys are still together. You guys have a bond. It's so cool seeing you guys together. I mean, what does it mean just to be able to be together so many years after you guys first came out and still be doing this?
Wow, it's a blessing. Yeah, it's a blessing, and I don't know. I mean, you hear so many stories. Now, don't get us wrong. We argue and we fuss and we cuss each other out, but there is a bond that can't be broken. Like, I can talk to her about her. She can talk to me about her, but you can't talk to me about any of them. You understand? It's just a foundation and just.
Because we're gonna fix that.
Yeah, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna figure it out. So, I mean, it's a blessing. Yeah. It's a blessing that God gave us our unique gifts and together. Like, none of us can be replaced.
Yeah,
right.
And
that's why. Right. No, that's why even with everyone knows we were a 4-member group, and even when Lenny decided to leave because she wanted to do her own thing, we did not replace her. Right. There was no, well, we're gonna get a girl to replace her. We can't replace any of the original members.
Right. Because after a while, like we say all the time, like our story is our story, and we're gonna tell it how we only can tell it. Right. And that's the best way. And people have this thing. We know that the people comments gonna probably start, but people have this. No, because people have this thing of always coming at us saying, oh, since you guys want to always act like she never existed. And it's like, dude, she was in the group. She's a part of our history. Right. At the end of the day, the fact that we never replaced her and so many other groups have tried to, like, bring a new member, whatever the case is, that should show that we want to stick to authenticity as much as possible. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, broke, don't fix it. Like, it broke a tiny bit, like maybe a little pinky fracture, but we stayed with each other because that's what meant the world to us.
But we got emotional. Wait, I'm about to say, because we got that surgery. It healed up right well. Come on. Man.
No, but she's right. It broke emotionally because when we first separated with her, we went through it. Like, we were like, yo, life is over. We cried. We were like, this is it, whatever. And then 15 minutes after, people were like, yo, like, are y'all serious? You guys can still sing. You guys still have harmony. You guys still have that love. So why not? And we the group. Like, there was no reason to stop at that point for us.
I guess it's a good time to clarify. So you guys, like you said, had a 4th member, went down to 3 members after the second album. What was the story? How come you ended up losing a member?
Well, she wanted to do her own thing. Like, she was like, I want to do books. She just wanted to do, she was going another route that we really like, wait, let's concentrate on the music and then let's make it in this first. And she just had other ideas and we were like, well, we still want to be us, so we have to keep it going.
Got it. So let's move on to the second album you guys put out. So you guys had a label change between the first and the second album. What was that whole situation? I don't think I've ever heard a story about that.
Well, a lot of people don't realize when he was signed to Creative, the label didn't go away because the artists weren't doing well. We were still at the top of the game, like in the beginning of All Cried Out going to the top of the charts when the divorce happened, and then I guess it was like, okay, no more Creative because we're not together anymore, meaning Tommy and Mariah. Right. So it wasn't like the label folded because oh, the artists weren't doing well. It had nothing to do with that. It was all around the marriage. So from that, we had to find a place to go. I mean, we went from Columbia, we did 3 soundtracks on there,
Right.
and it was just so many girl groups that it was like, there's no space for us here. And they had their main group that they wanted to make sure made it, and we were just like, this is not gonna work for us.
Right.
So we signed to MCA through Jeff Red,
Right.
and yeah, we came out with Sunny Days.
So Sunny Days, what do you guys remember most about creating that one?
The Twin Towers coming down.
Um,
No, Sunny Days was amazing too because that was like our chance to really get involved more with the writing for us.
Right.
We wrote a lot on that album, and we also again worked with a lot of like amazing. We worked with oh my God,
Gene and
Renee from Jeanne.
Mm-hmm.
We worked with Roger Troutman's son, Precision, produced a couple of tracks on that album
Yes,
too.
Little
Mo wrote for us.
Right.
Wow.
It was just
Full Force again.
Yeah, Full Force again.
Right.
It was just an overall really, really great experience for us again because we were able to get more hands-on and get more creative and tap into a place where we kind of like always had a little issue with, like we would get writer's block sometimes, but we always wanted to be more hands-on as far as writing. So it was just, again, it was just a dope experience for us.
And it was a feel-good
Yeah.
album. I think that's why we named it Sunny Days because we were out of the dark part,
Yeah.
you know. So it
Yeah.
was just, we felt like we were being renewed and we were given another chance. And
Shut
yes, that's what's praising God.
you guys are the best. I love it. I love the energy. Well, same thing with the first album. Why don't you guys tell me your favorites from this one as well?
Sunny Days.
Sunny Days. Okay.
Okay, go first, Ollie.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go with Without You. For the second reason Allure went with
Yeah.
The Story.
Yo, killed that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, don't what's the name? I don't want to mess up. Gene.
Gene. Yeah. Gene.
So Gene pushed me vocally.
Yeah.
When I say pushed me, I had a headache at the end.
She did.
But it was just so many more techniques and things you just learn from a vet when you just put under their wing and they teach you with love. So
Right.
it was a great experience. So I would have to say Without You for me. That's the song.
For me, it's Earn My Stress. That was done by Full Force, and at that time, I was in a horrid relationship. So that song, that dude was a piece of shit. So I am that one for me because I felt that in my soul when I was singing.
Watch your foot.
Wow. Shit. Where do I go from there? For me, damn. Okay, so for me, with Sunny Days, it's a toss between. You have to pick one.
Yes.
Yes, one. Uno.
Okay, I'm gonna go with The Shore
Okay.
because The Shore was one. I remember us sitting at La's house with the little karaoke box.
That's right.
We had the tape and we had the track, and we were like learning. We were writing the lyrics to that, and that song to me came from a place that we weren't really experiencing it per se, like as far as every detail. Well, I think me and you were, but later on, for me to experience, like if you listen to The Shore lyrically, you'll get it more. Like in a relationship and feeling like you're just not complete without that person, and you just see your whole life, kids,
Right.
the cliche.
There was even a touch.
Well,
of,
not that, but yeah,
there was even a hint of suicide in some of the lyrics.
right.
But, yes,
Right.
that's your
And-
song. I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying, but even like she said, even like lyrically, the lyrical content for me hit later on.
Right.
Because when you go on in life and we all have our stories of like anxiety and depression and this and that. So to actually feel that later on, like I don't feel like I want to be here because I love him and he doesn't love me the way I want to. Was something that I was like, Jesus, never again. May God will hold me pure because never. It just teaches you that in life you have to just be like strong-willed and not think about somebody else to make you whole.
What doesn't break you makes you.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
When you guys are talking, speaking about vocals and being pushed vocally, I can't help but think, Allure we know as true vocalists. You guys can really all sing. And then we think about kind of where R&B has evolved to, and we don't really get those vocals that you really feel in your soul. I mean, how do you guys feel about the evolution of R&B music to where not to say anything negatively. Do you guys still listen to some of the newer R&B out, or do you feel like maybe like us, it's just not the same? You're not getting what you used to feel.
You don't want me to answer that question. I'm totally out of touch when it comes to today's music. Yeah. Honestly, I'm the one that's like, they'll tell me about people, and I'm like, right. What? Oh, okay. And then they'll have me listen, and then I'm learning. Like, oh, wow, yeah. Right. Yeah. So
I think we're all old heads. Like we'll literally turn to the classic Faith Evans album, the ones, okay, Patti LaBelle. I'm just saying like stuff that we used to like Patti LaBelle, Shaka Khan, The Temptations. We're that old. Right. We're older than Google apparently.
You know what?
But then I also encountered like artists like her, right. And SZA's dope, and Kiani, I think her name is Kiani Day.
Kiana.
Yeah, Victoria Monet. There's a lot of artists that are artists now. Oh, Molly music is ridiculous. Jack, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different artists that do still hold that foundation of what music really was for us. So we'll definitely gear more towards that.
Sometimes it's harder to find because they're not so much.
Yeah, but that's why we look towards our nieces and our daughters and stuff. So like say, hey, this is in our playlist, and they always come and show us stuff like
they try to keep us
more current, right? More current, yeah. So, yeah.
That's dope. I like that answer. So let's take it to the third album, Chapter 3. Obviously, this album was known because you guys linked up with Ron Artest. You know, I'm from New York too, so I thought that was pretty cool that he even had a label. And you know, what was that like, even getting his attention, and then NBA star at the time, and working with him?
It's funny. People gave us a lot of flack for that. Like, they were thinking like, oh, y'all so desperate, how could y'all? But he was absolutely the best boss we could have ever asked for. Because he truly believed in us. Like, when people were kind of like making us like, whatever, he was like, nah, they're dope. And I want to, try to put them back out there, reintroduce them to the world, because I feel like they have a story, and I just feel like they're so talented. And he just believed in us. Once again, he did a lot of writing on that album. Yes. Because we were going through it for real. In every facet of our life. So that album for us holds a lot, because we really poured our emotions and everything into that album. Yeah. True Warrior Records. We love it.
We love you, Ron. You can say what you want, but like, he's honestly and genuinely like the sweetest person, and he's super smart. Yeah. People try to act like he's so like he's dumb, and he's not. He's an awesome businessman. If you really look at what he's doing right now, like, follow him on Instagram and see all these journeys that he's on, like his new thing with the Panda experience or whatever. It's like all with incredible.
It's incredible. He's very deep, and if you don't take a moment to just step back and look, right? Don't judge him, because like he and I both had temper problems. On that level, and it was something like that can fuck up your whole life, like one mistake. And I had to learn the hard way. We'll talk about that another time. But I say that to say that, he's a good person, great person, dope person, our best boss ever, hands down.
Really? Yeah. What was it like even trusting to go in that direction? Because obviously you guys had a lot of experience in the industry by that point. You were linking up with someone who was known for basketball, maybe didn't have the same music industry experience. Was it like something you had to be convinced to get into, or was it right away something you thought was a good idea?
I mean, when we met him, just the vibe that we got from him, and just the way we all just clicked, and it was, like I said, for us, it's always like this emotional thing that we go through with people. Like, we feel some type of energy from you that makes us feel like this can work. Yeah. This can work. Yeah. And that's what it was. We talked to him for hours, and he had a plan.
And he was figuring it out.
He was figuring it out. He hired who he needed, putting in the money for it, making sure we were okay. So we trusted him. Like, we really trusted him. And
we trusted him so much, we were in our rap band. You know the rap bands that you see Hot 97 in? Yo, if you went to our band with the picture of us on it, we were in it like,
wow.
I think, just to add, we trusted the process enough to the point that we still didn't get it, but I think we totally got it when he went to that whole brawl thing, and everybody was so like, oh, making him like a monster or whatever, and the whole time he's like, anyway, I got this group out, the name was he was just like, okay, whatever with that. He was so embedded from the first time we met him. He was like, you guys at SWV are my faves. So for him to actually come after us, like, he looked for us. Yeah. And that was something that was like, that's just dope. So, again, we trusted the process. Yeah.
Right. So even though that was a strong album, Chapter 3, why do you think it didn't get the attention it deserved?
Well, one, the brawl happened.
Yeah.
And people were trying to basically make a mockery of everything that he was trying to do.
Right.
So instead of them saying, oh, Ron has a girls group, Allure, they just were making it like, well, he just got some stupid album coming out.
Yeah.
And it just became like a joke.
Right.
But like I said, we know what it was. And our true fans, they know what it is, because when they see us to this day, they'll ask us for songs off that album. And we're like, how you don't know that?
Because only our cousins bought it. We was like, that's not only my mommy and daddy bought that album.
Y'all stupid. I'm done.
Wow. I gotta take it in another direction now. We gotta talk about this memoir that came out from Mariah. And I know there was some, take a sip. I know there was some drama. I just want to give you guys a chance to clarify your position. Maybe there's been some misunderstanding, I know, and people came for you guys unfairly. Please just speak about.
I like how you started with a misunderstanding.
Right.
At least you got that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I would just like to hear your guys' perspective on what went down, why you might have felt how you did, and you know what you'd like to say to everyone out there.
Well, I mean, basically, it's been over 2 decades that anytime Mariah had an interview, Craig was never mentioned. So we felt, like, okay, no problem. So the book came out, and then someone sent us an insert with her mentioning the label and mentioning the first group of the label. And we were like, well, not the first group.
Yeah.
So that was it. That was basically it. We could care less whether she mentioned the label or
She
not.
said she hadn't mentioned us
Ever.
So it was like, you were fine with that. So you would have been better off just don't mention us,
Right.
our label at all. But if you are,
Right.
just say what it was. Don't say the first group was people that wasn't
us. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
It might not mean anything to everyone else,
Right.
Because
it's not your story.
but for us,
Right.
that was a very major part of our career to
Right.
be the first on her label.
To be the first to track masters. To
Right.
be the first R&B group with violated
And
management.
furthermore, the thing that irks me the most, that grinds my gears to the fullest, is that
Don't grind the gears.
the thing that grinds my gears the most is that fans of hers, I guess, the little lambs and stuff, hey, bye. The thing that bothers me the most is that you can defend everything that someone did because you're a fan of theirs. We never want our fans to ever be disrespectful or to like carry on and come crazy at somebody else because you're our fan. That's not how we do that. At the end of the day, even throughout the 2 decades, like La said, we've always spoke highly of her. We've never said, oh, she this, she that. And then people misconstrue when somebody asks us a question and we joke about certain things and they make it seem like, oh, they just think it's funny. They try to mock her and this and that. We never did. So at the end of the day, again, when it's something that's directly connected to us,
Right, and our story.
and it's connected to our story, of course we should be able to say how we feel because everybody else wants to rant and rave about how they feel.
We're
You know?
human. We're human.
Yeah.
People, it was a raw moment. It was brought to us.
And you're judging us from the time when we were like 17, 18, and we were kids.
I mean,
Kids that
it is
were,
what
you know,
it is.
we were kids that.
She going somewhere else.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
The
saying
moral
that
of the story
because people had
is-
a problem with how we reacted to it. And our thing was it came from
A
an
genuine
emotional,
raw place.
genuine place. That's our thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, something I would just like to say. Oh, go ahead.
That were respectful
Yeah,
and that genuinely asked us, like, really wanted to know what we were feeling and
Right,
why, because
right.
they didn't really know the story.
Right.
The disrespectful ones, y'all can bad black sheep, go somewhere else. But everybody else,
Kiss my bread.
we appreciate the ones that really did come to us and try to understand
Right.
the story. Like you
Because
said,
someone, we were like, you're right. I didn't read the whole story, or I didn't read the book. I'm not going to.
That's not the point.
But right.
Right.
I mean, the moral of the story, like we can take it. Like sometimes we'll sit back, the same things they were making fun of, we do it to ourselves.
right.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we're gonna cut it out. Nobody cares.
Right.
And we'll laugh at ourselves.
So in conclusion, it wasn't the fact that she didn't mention Allure. We could give 2 squats. We just want our story or anything that's connected to our story to be told correctly.
That's the truth.
Without discredit, because we don't discredit anybody that we've ever worked with. And it seems like it's always done to us for some reason. And we don't get it. But it's not gonna stop us from doing what we gotta do.
what we love.
One night. Yeah.
That's totally fair. I mean, one of our worst favorite things about the R&B culture and music in general is what we call stan culture. You know, these fans are such big fans of one artist, they try to tear everything else down. And really that hurts everyone. We should be celebrating artists like Allure who've given us timeless music. We shouldn't say, oh, they're not in the mainstream anymore. They could be, they're washed up. People say things like this about artists, and it's not fair. We don't get to celebrate artists like yourself. So, I mean, how do you guys, as artists yourselves, how do you deal with that?
Well, honestly, we're true to ourselves. Whether I sing at a bar or bar mitzvah, it's my dollar that I made, honestly.
Right.
You understand? So it's like we're still leaning on our true talent. And you can't take it from us. I don't care what name you call me, you can't take that away from us. So we're proud of that. And that's the reason why I think we were in our feelings.
Right. So let's take it back up to date. I know you guys are working on some new music. What can you tell us about that?
Well, you can definitely look out for, we put a song out, it's called Like I Do, and it's featuring, we did a contest to try to find a female artist that could rap, right? To spit a verse, and the girl that won, her name is DJ B, she comes from the Bronx. The song was written by Chanel Red and JJ Jennings. And it was a feel good record and produced by the Brook Brothers. So sorry, hey Brooke, hey Chloe. But yeah, it was just a feel good record. It was something that kind of brought us back to our first album vibe. Yeah. We shot the video. We did a whole '90s vibe thing, basketball courts, rope chains, all that. People seem to love it. We're working on getting it on Spotify, things like that. But we have to work again the logistics and stuff. But that's out right now. You can look for that on YouTube and on SoundCloud. And we're about to go back into the studio to record some new stuff. So we don't have an actual date yet. We never really do. But we are working because we have other things, under our belt that we're
Look out for Grown Ass Girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our podcast is going to turn into a whole other thing.
Yeah.
To see the true people that we are, because a lot of people do that. Not taking away from anybody that calls themselves a boss bitch and I'm a this, but I think a lot of times women forget to be and just enjoy themselves. And everybody, we know that even though we're in our 40s, we know we still have a little bit of girl in us. Yeah. And we like to have fun, and that's what it's all about. Yeah. It's about being a grown-ass girl. So,
And as you guys approach this new music that you're going to be working on for the new project you mentioned, even though you haven't started yet, you think you guys are going to have a nostalgic sound from what we're used to hearing from you in the past, or kind of tie in some newer elements? How's it going to sound like?
We definitely love to, like Molly said, we love to stay true to ourselves. So sound is going to be our sound, but we also like to find a happy medium with what we love and kind of like what's trending, but just not trying to copy what's trending. Because like Aaliyah said, there's a lot that we don't necessarily like. We don't knock the artists, but there's certain sounds and certain vibes that we're just not with.
Or then some things just don't fit who we
are.
Can you picture me like
imagine all three of us.
I do love trap music.
She does, but imagine all three of us trying to come out like Meg Thee Stallion. They be like, girl, sit your old ass knees down.
I got one good for you. One.
I don't have to.
Because I got arthritis in the left one.
And I got a whole herniated disc, so we don't do it.
Y'all don't even want to go into that. Y'all don't want to know the ailments.
For real.
They're going to give us an AARP card.
I'll take it. But again, we're true to ourselves, but we know what we can and cannot do, and what we should and should not do. Yeah. And one thing we're not gonna do is try to act like a whole different demographic. Right. Like we're not gonna try to cater to a demographic that we know is not gonna fit us. We've always said, Allure's not gonna be for everybody, and we don't want to be. We just want somebody to just feel us a little bit. And if you do, then thank you. If not, we get it. That's it. Like we're not thirsty for likes. Like it's not that serious.
That's dope. I love it.
But you know what's so funny? I'm the crybaby, and I have no filter now. I don't give a shit. I get mad. I'm gonna say that, but she reeled me back in. I'm like, no, don't take my glasses. I'm good.
I love it. I love that energy.
You look beautiful, so do you. Hey.
Last question for you guys. We're almost out of time. I just want to know how you guys holding up with the pandemic.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
You want? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I can share your fun.
Oh, appreciate it. You guys are the fun ones. This has been a fun interview, guys. I love your energy. You guys are awesome together. But let me just ask you a more serious note. We're in this pandemic still. I'm here in New York City. It's still crazy out here. Artists are not performing shows. Artists can't do shows really. So what is it like for artists like yourselves not being able to take that stage and not being able to touch your fans?
we miss the stage
Yeah.
a whole lot.
Yeah.
And our fans are our life. And anyone that knows us knows that that's the best part of us doing what we do. Is to be able to have the fans singing to them, touching them, however it is, to give them love, and we miss them. But we are taking this time to be. What?
Your eyes are getting watery.
Stop! I'm not crying. Cut it out now. I'm a thug. I don't do that.
Come on, Matia.
So we do miss our fans in the stage, but we are taking this time to really focus on our creative side and trying to do other things and being prepared for when the stages open up and we're back on stage and our knees are not clicking, backs are not aching. So but we miss our fans so much, and we absolutely miss the stage.
Yeah. And I have to say that even though it hurts so much to not be on stage, like me, I'm not saying that you don't feel the same way, but me personally, like, I wouldn't pick having to go through 2020 without these two. Because when I tell you, like, we're so dysfunctional, but we're so loving it. It's like, but seriously, like, if it wasn't for the fact that we hold each other down the way we do, I don't know where I would be. And that's like, for real, like, honestly, between my kids and these two, and just our family structure or whatever, I don't know how we made it through the year. I just hope that we can end on a better note and come back 2021, being able to come out blazing. What is it? What's the term? Blazing saddles?
I don't know.
That's your own.
I don't know what decade.
But you know what I mean, right? You feel me? I just want to come back in the next year with just more positive vibes, and hopefully the masks will be gone, and we could just end this
I
crap.
might still keep mine.
Oh Jesus!
I might still keep mine. We were OCD before.
I was like that before,
so it's like on a million.
Not me. I went a couple times before the tooth was even up.
Lord. But in the meantime, in between time, we're making plans to come back to you guys virtually through our podcast. And just kind of reconnect that way until we're able to hit the stage again, because we do miss the stage.
So, you guys are so much fun. I bet you guys seem like you're ready to go party right after this interview. How you guys are so hyped up. I love it.
We do party, but trust me, bedtime is calling.
We're partying online with you, so we're having a good time.
Dope. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Really appreciate you coming and doing this interview. You know, anyone who wasn't able to tune in live, it'll be on our website. It'll be all over our social media. So going to definitely help share your story. Looking forward to the new music, whatever you guys are coming. Always happy to support you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, for real. And we love everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Take care.
Next time.